would like to invite Mr. Harsh Mander, famous author, columnist, researcher, and a social activist. He will be speaking, enlightening us on the topic, We the Digital Citizens of India. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. I would like you to please come on stage and start with the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me here. I feel a little bit of an interloper in this meeting because I'm not tech phobic. I recognize and acknowledge the potential of digital technology, both for the good and for the bad, as we'll be seeing in our next panel discussion. But what I thought I'd talk to you about very briefly in the 15 minutes I have is how does your work, our work around digital inclusion interface with the promises that we, the people of India, made in the writing of our constitution. And you might wonder, why are we suddenly talking about the constitution? I think, and the answer to that is because we should have been doing this all of the last 75, 76 years. And also because it is, it's not hidden from anyone that our country is in the deepest turmoil. But what is the contestation that is unfolding in our country? What is the battle about? The battle is about, on the one hand, what I would call the foundational idea of our country, and the other is about the morality of our constitution. And both of these are closely interrelated. What was the foundational idea of independent India? It was the idea of equal citizenship without conditionalities. That it did not matter, we would build a country where it would not matter which God you worship, or if you worship no God. It would not matter what your caste, the language you speak, your gender, your sexuality, whether you were rich or poor. In every way, you would be an equal human being and an equal citizen of this country. That is the foundational idea of our land. And right through our freedom struggle, the freedom struggle was not just a battle against British colonialism. It was equally a battle about what kind of country we would build after the British left, and who would it belong to and who would it not belong to, and on what conditions. And when somebody asks me what is Indian secularism about, one of the core ideas of India's secularism is the assurance, the guarantee of equal belonging without conditionalities. I spent some time in Germany, in Europe, and I realized that it's a radical idea. Because, say in Germany, even as they rebuild after the Nazi, the horrors of the Nazi period, the Holocaust, they've done a great deal to rebuild their society. But even so, when confronted with the idea of who qualifies to be a German, there's the notion that they must respect our language and culture, they must know the German language, they must respect our systems of religious faith and our culture. Germany already has about 25% immigrant population. Most of them, the large majority of them are Muslims from Turkey and Syria. So when I asked them, is the culture that they bring part of German culture? There is almost a sense of recoil and horror. We had planned and designed a country where we would say equally. I mean, you follow your religion, you follow your way of life. You eat what you like, you dress the way you like, you worship the way you like, you love the way you like, and you are fully an equal citizen. I spent part of my childhood in Arunachal Pradesh, where there were tribes where just 200 people in the world speak a particular language. And my imagination for my country is that those 200 people speaking their language with their way of life belong equally to this country. And it is the same idea that was written into our constitution. The idea of equal citizenship without conditionalities. Now, what is citizenship? Hannah Arendt had a very powerful single line sort of explanation. Citizenship is the right to have rights. The right to have rights. And equal citizenship means everybody, rich and poor, of every religion, every gender, every caste, every language, has equally the right to have rights. This imagination for our country was not universally accepted, and we know that there were many streams, the Hindu Mahasabha, the RSS on the one hand, and the Muslim League on the other, which had a different notion of citizenship which was related to your identity, particularly to your religious identity. And there was an imagination of first-class citizens and second-class citizenships and belonging and non-belonging based on your identity. So when I had these 15 minutes before you, I wanted to just remind you or remind us about what promises we made and who. And when I say we, it is we, the people of India, who wrote our constitution. And what is a constitution? A constitution is, in a sense, it's a compendium of promises, of pledges, of dreams, of aspirations. And we, the people of India, are the people of India who came before the time we got freedom, who were alive at the time we got freedom, and the generations that were to follow, which is you and I, and our children and their children. So we, the people of India, gave to ourselves a constitution in which we had an imagination, we had a set of promises. And at the core of it was this promise of equal citizenship without conditionalities. There are 4 words. The first of them, which in a sense are the foundations of our constitution. These are justice, and many times if we say it in Hindustani or our own respective languages, it has a different resonance. So justice is insaf, sabhi ke liye barabar ka insaf. Liberty, freedom, azadi. Or azadi is a slogan that comes up from time to time, like in the anti-CA protests, where they said, not freedom from India, but freedom in India, and equal freedom in India. So, insaf, azadi. The third was equality or barabari. Equality for all, Samanta. And the last and the most foundational even of these four ideas is the word fraternity. Fraternity literally means brotherhood. It's a problematic word because it leaves out sisterhood and other sexualities. But the Hindi constitution actually describes it as bandhuta, derived from a Sanskrit word which literally means कि हम एक दूसरे से बंधे हुए हैं. Our religions may be different, our ways of life may be different, our beliefs may be different, our cultures in multiple ways can be different, but we are bound to and with each other. If there's injustice to you, I feel there are chains on my feet. If you are lashed on your back, I feel the pain on my back. If you are in pain, I feel the tears coming from my eyes. Now, why am I reminding you about these pledges? Partly because it is these pledges that are being contested today. It is this set of promises that everybody, regardless of their religion, caste, identity, will have equal rights of citizenship, which is the right to have rights, is what we are contesting today. In a sense, it's a continuation of our freedom struggle, because our freedom struggle was not just about British colonialism, but also the country that we would build after the British left. And that is in contestation. But I thought I'd also remind you of this, that in the digital space, are we ensuring justice for all? Are we ensuring equality? Are we defending all our respective freedoms? And is there a sense of fraternity and mutual belonging? These are questions, and fortunately you've given me only 15 minutes, because I could then start speaking about examples for each of these. But we're seeing, I'll just say that we're seeing a time when I think our government is very rapidly digitalizing, which is actually resulting in an extraordinary levels and ways of exclusion of vulnerable populations. So far from equal citizenship, equal right to have rights, the digital sort of vehicle should not become a vehicle to deny people to have the right to have rights, but facilitate it. And are we doing that? Are we doing that enough? Is a question that we need to ask ourselves. I am looking at my watch. I've overshot my time. We, the people of India, I think in everything that we do, in all our work, in all our relationships, in all our dreams, can we recall those promises of our Constitution at a time when they are so much threatened and in conflict? Thank you.